I think before I start, it might be helpful to tell you a little bit about my own journey into China and into Chinese. I arrived in China with zero Chinese language experience, with very little exposure or understanding of China. And I went from there to now having worked for Chinese technology companies. I speak, I'd say, conversational Chinese at this point. I have a number of Chinese friends who are very dear to me and who are yeah, who are really close to me. I think I have a good understanding of Chinese culture. And a big reason for that kind of really dramatic journey from nothing to having established a life for myself um, via Chinese and in China is the Chinese Language Institute. So I'm excited to share with you the path that I took and that I hope some of you will choose to take. As we're presenting, feel free to follow along on the website, studycli.org. You can see all of the programs that we're going to present. You can see the pricing, and then you can also see some reviews from previous students. So I think it could be a useful way if what we are saying sounds interesting. Feel free to open our website. So just a brief history of our community. It was founded back in 2009 by two brothers, and the first class was actually held very close to their apartment. Since then, it has grown, and now there is a five-story building in Guilin in Guangxi, which is devoted to the Chinese Language Institute. It has, like I said, five floors. Two of them are devoted to classrooms and to one-on-one tutoring lessons with Chinese teachers. And it's really a lovely place. I spent the first 3 months of this year there, and yeah, I keep going back. I can't stop. The core values that motivate CLI and that will kind of frame your experience if this is the opportunity that you choose is that we exist as a community to build lifelong connections to China. So this isn't just like a one semester thing or, go to China for 3 or 4 years, get a degree and leave. This is an attempt to really create a deeper and more real connection. And that's the thing that I think really has drawn me back to CLI again and again. The community celebrates diversity, so the student body comes from all over the world, everywhere from India to Europe to North America. We have students from everywhere. And then the staff as well. We have Chinese teachers, so people who are from the mainland. We have foreigners working at the institute. So you have a nice mix of people who are hopefully familiar with your home culture and can help you integrate into China, can help you understand some of the confusing things about China as you get used to this new world that will be your new home. The community really goes the extra mile for students and for staff. So there's a really great kind of supportive network. We had a student recently who got quite severely injured in a scooter accident, and while that's kind of a negative story, the positive spin on that would be that we had a really great interaction with the hospital and sorting all of that out, which can be quite confusing if you're a foreigner in China for the first time. Medical care isn't always the most straightforward. So those are the kind of services that CLI will provide people who choose this opportunity. And then it's also a welcoming family-based community. So while most of the students are younger, most of the students are, I would say, between, let's say, 18 and 25. It's a multi-generational community. So you have people there who are in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s who are learning Chinese later in life. So it really kind of offers a more communal experience than I think a lot of the other communities that are devoted to learning Chinese in China. So the main offerings that CLI provides, the one that I believe most of you who are gathered here today are here for is the College Study Abroad program. So in this program, we partner with a local university called Guangxi Normal University, which is in Guilin in China. And this has four fixed terms per year. So there's fall, winter, spring, and summer. And this kind of functions exactly like a normal either study abroad or full degree program. You study in China, you get your degree in China. But the added advantage of doing it with us is that you have this kind of support network of a community of people who understand the needs, whether it's medical or cultural, financial, helping setting up bank accounts, this kind of thing. And our community can help you integrate into China and make sure that your learning experience is exceptional. So that's the college program, and Natalie's going to share a little bit more about that in a second. The two other ones I want to quickly touch on are the immersion program and online classes. So the immersion program is more flexible. It's not connected to GXNU, Guangxi Normal University, and it's simply to equip you with Chinese language skills. So this is what I actually originally did, and I think this is what accelerated my Chinese from zero to functional, to working Chinese, to feeling comfortable working in a Chinese office at a tech company. That's really what did it for me. And this is extremely flexible and it can be customized based on your needs. It's a personal tutoring program, so you have one-on-one Chinese for up to 20 hours per week with three different teachers. And then the three different teachers are focused on reading and writing. Uh, then there's listening and speaking, and then you have a kind of broad universal teacher that will try and tie all of these different threads together because learning Chinese is hard. Um, and you need, I think having multiple teachers is really useful and having that kind of like personal one-on-one customized daily interaction with a Chinese teacher who's familiar with the needs and the difficulties of Westerners or foreigners learning Chinese is really useful. The last, I guess, program that we have here is online classes. I've done this for over 5 years now. I travel quite a lot, and I'm not always in China or at CLI. And so, having the ability to learn Chinese from anywhere in the world, from your office, from your home, from your couch, is really an incredible experience. I originally got to know my teacher in person. And then after that, I decided I just wanted to continue. It was such a like a value add to my life that I didn't want to stop. And at this point, five years on, me and my teacher are great friends. I am up to HSK 5, if you're familiar with the HSK system that some of the other presenters were talking about. So I really think it's been a really wonderful journey in that sense. I'm just going to quickly review why I think CLI is the best China and Chinese experience available in China. So the unmatched immersion and living in Guilin aspect are kind of related to each other. I think a lot of times people will go to China for the first time and go to a big city like Beijing or Shanghai or Hong Kong. And while those cities are wonderful and I've enjoyed traveling there and working there, I think in some ways it can be detrimental to your learning, to truly learning Chinese. I think it's easier to learn in a place like Guilin, which is a little bit more laid back. It's a little bit more in southern China, which has its own kind of cultural rhythm, and it makes it easier to truly learn Chinese instead of kind of retreating into a bubble of people who speak your language and understand your culture and eat your food. You are in some ways more likely to get into the Chinese community and to really learn Chinese. If you choose our partnership program with the university, we have quite an easy credit transfer process. We've done this with a number of universities in Europe, in India, in North America. And so we have the ability to transfer credit if you do a semester abroad program, for example. Guilin also has substantially higher levels of like it's more affordable. So if you're living in Beijing or in Shanghai in Hong Kong, these are really expensive cities by Chinese standards, but also by global standards. So it's expensive to eat, it's expensive to drink, to go to the movies. Guilin is able to reduce a lot of that and make it more affordable, just to get your daily necessities. Learn by doing, and then 24/7 staff support. So, like I was saying, I think the fact that you're connecting a Chinese university experience with a more kind of communal experience means that you get the best of both worlds. You have people who understand you and your culture and your needs, but you also have that real exposure to China um, into Chinese secondary, yeah, education experience. So I really encourage you to check out our website and to read some of the reviews that other people have left, other students. Um, I I use our own product, like I was saying. I really enjoy learning Chinese, and I think a big reason for my success in this journey has been CLI. So yeah, I'll leave it to Natalie to take it away.
Wonderful. Thanks, Hugo. And thank you, China Admissions, for putting this together. This has been a really awesome presentation. And yeah, so I'd like to talk a little bit about our China Study Abroad program in partnership with Guangxi Normal University. So we offer non-degree but credit earning fall and spring semester programs. So this is ideal for students who are either enrolled in a university program and would like to receive credits for a Chinese language intensive program, or for students who are maybe taking some time off of studies, some students who are taking a semester off in high school, if you are, let's say, a junior or a senior in high school, and you want to enrich your Chinese language ability. This is a Chinese language learning program. We also do offer supplemental Chinese culture courses that are taught in English, which I'll explain in a moment. But for the main part of our program, our semester program is 15 weeks long. The deadline for fall 2026 is July 1st, 2026. To answer probably the biggest question off the bat, Guangxi Normal University is one of the schools that's part of the Chinese government scholarship, which deadline is on February 8th, so a month from today, and we'll talk more about later. But what your program consists of is a comprehensive Chinese class at Guangxi Normal University. You also have 5 hours a week of one-on-one Chinese lessons at our Chinese Language Institute Center. And that was the building that Hugo was just referring to. So this is a joint program between a private education center and Guangxi Normal University. The Chinese Language Institute is affiliate. So you take your one-on-one classes alongside group classes to best support your Chinese language learning goals. You also have the option to enroll in Chinese language elective courses at Guangxi Normal University at no additional fee, but extra credits. They offer reading and writing, and they offer spoken Chinese and a listening class as well. So that will be the bulk of your classwork. How it'll work is the first day that you arrive, the first day of your semester, you will take a Chinese language placement test. And after taking the placement test, we will select a class selection for you at Guangxi Normal University. There's a shopping period. So at Guangxi Normal University, you are able to try out different classes to see what level best suits you. If your home university requires certain credits, for example, they require you to take a listening class, please let us know ahead of time. My email is on the screen and I'll put it in the chat so that we can make sure that your schedule fits with the credits that you need to take back to your university. We also offer electives. Our electives are based off of the student's interests. We are offering electives in the humanities. So here are some classes that we have offered in the past. These are taught in English. So if you would like to enrich your Chinese language ability by learning about China's economic environment or classical Chinese philosophy or the history of the Chinese Communist Party, you are welcome to contact us with your academic interests and we will work to place you in one of these classes. We've also offered Chinese language taught calligraphy and arts courses. So again, you can contact me if you are interested in those. These are only applicable to our fall and spring semester programs. We also offer summer and winter term programs. These credits are able to be issued by Guangxi Normal University. However, these are all taught in one-on-one classes. You take 20 hours a week throughout the term for both of these sessions. 9 credits for 9 weeks for the summer term, which are transferable to your university, or 3 credits for 3 weeks at the winter term. That's really an accelerated course. The application deadlines for 2026 are on the screen. So, what are the differences between us and other Chinese study abroad programs? Well, we really strictly enforce one-on-one language learning to be up to your needs. For example, we've gotten some students who are maybe at HSK level 3, which I would classify as beginning intermediate, who want to learn some more terms about geology. This is actually an email that I received a few weeks ago. You are able to work with your one-on-one teacher in those 5 hours a week you have during the fall and spring semester, or those 20 hours a week you have during the summer and the winter to focus on the subjects that are unique to you, that are unique and important to you at no additional cost. We also have a Chinese language pledge. We hand out bracelets to students who are willing to participate, and we have many, many peers who take on this pledge, whether it's my coworkers, some of the interns at the school, or other students who commit to only speaking Chinese to make the most of the Chinese language opportunity that you are in. Here is our program tuition. The prices are in USD, and please feel free to convert them to your home currency. The rates for a double room, just if you don't want to look at the chart, very simply are below. I will talk in the next slide about how to apply for our personal scholarship and the Chinese government scholarship, which can lower these costs. So the Chinese Language Institute awards several scholarships each year. Applicants are selected to receive the scholarship based on two factors: financial need and academic merit. So, to apply for a scholarship, you'll have to write a short paragraph that explains the reasons why you want to come to China and the reasons why you want to study Chinese. Like I said, we take language proficiency very seriously and want to make sure that all of our students who are coming here are very committed to learning the Chinese language because you will be able to see a lot of gains through our one-on-one classes and through our group classes at Guangxi Normal University in a small time. So, Guangxi Normal University is part of the Chinese Government Scholarship, this otherwise known as a CSC. I have seen that a lot of you have asked questions in the chat relating to the CSC. China Admissions has done a great job of putting together a guide for 2026 in particular, and just a guide for applying for the CSC that they have pasted in the answers section of the Q&A on Zoom. So I would really recommend that you check those out for questions about the CSC. But to keep it short, I'll do a quick overview, which is that the CSC can provide a tuition fee waiver, accommodation, comprehensive medical insurance, and a monthly stipend. But the application deadline is coming up soon on February 8th, 2026. So please make sure to apply if you would like to be eligible for that funding opportunity. Note that that scholarship does not apply to the fees that would be part of your one-on-one classes. However, it will be able to cover the part of your tuition that is comprised by Guangxi Normal University fees. As I mentioned, this is a joint program between the university and our smaller language school. So I want to talk a little bit about what life is like in Guilin outside the classroom, because that is just as important of a part of your learning journey as studying is. As Hugo mentioned, Guilin has a pretty small foreigner community, and so it is a really great opportunity to accelerate your Chinese language learning. Many of our alumni have gone from spending, 3 to 6 months with us, one semester or 2 semesters, to living and working in cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou. This is partially because they were able to really focus on their Chinese language learning in Guilin with the Guangxi Normal University and with the Chinese Language Institute, and then take those skills to get a job in China, because that is where we are really focused on Chinese language proficiency at our center. So we have a daily activities board. Some of our activities include yoga, hiking, cooking classes, calligraphy classes, and more. Students can also request to have an activity at any time. We have been able to have a lot of students also come and teach the community a lot of their special subjects because we really are a very international school. Since I've started working at the Chinese Language Institute last year, I have interacted with students from over 20 different countries, and been able to really get to know a lot of different cultures alongside being immersed in the Chinese language environment all the time. So similarly, your peers are a great resource to learn from while you're studying Chinese. If you are part of our semester of our Chinese study abroad programs that I just talked about, whether that's winter, summer, or semester, we offer two complimentary or free weekend trips per semester, or one for the summer and the winter program. So these are free trips that we take students on to have a better sense of Chinese language and culture, Guangxi, the autonomous region that Guilin is located in, the culture of Guangxi, and more. So students have traveled to the Longsheng rice terraces, Yangshuo, and Nanning, which is the capital of Guangxi, alongside other places in southern China. In order to enrich your learning, we also have several friends and several connections to interns and college students in the city who we pair our students with to enrich their Chinese language learning. So they are able to have conversations with local students. Because we have found that often a challenge that many students feel in larger cities is the lack of chance to integrate into the local community and practice Chinese with students your age. So with our Pengyo, which means friend program, we are able to provide students with that opportunity. So just I'm noticing that we have not that much time left. I'm going to go through our housing options really quickly. This is the university housing. We also offer private apartment options for a slightly higher cost, and also for a higher cost homestay options where you live with a local family. You have dinner, which is cooked by the family every night, and you get to really immerse yourself in Chinese culture. Just some health and safety, as Hugo mentioned, we have 24/7 bilingual English and Chinese assistants to support you every step of the way. Students will be required to purchase health insurance. If you apply for the CSC, you can get this waived. And we have a large team, and so please just contact us via email to get in touch. So, life in Guilin, the city is 1.5 million people, which is small for China and massive for most of other parts of the world. There are bike rentals and public transportation, active nightlife. Here are some of the activities that are very popular in the city as well. And we are happy to find an activity that fits best for you. Lastly, I just want to be clear on this. We provide students with an X2 short-term single entry student visa. It allows students to stay in China for 6 months. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. We really hope that you consider the Chinese Language Institute as a way to improve your Chinese language skills. And in our last minute, I'll leave this QR code here for students to scan and learn more about our Chinese language program. And I'll also put my email in the chat, our website in the chat. And I'll also put a link to instructions on the Chinese government scholarship in the chat as well. And I'll be around on the Zoom to answer some questions via the Zoom chat, however you may have them. Thank you so much.